First, you must realize that you have no idea before you can know the idea. We scan across all the frequencies if we want to learn anything new. Let us begin.
What has physics done for me lately?
Furthermore, the equation E is equal mc squared.
We have now acquired a fateful power to alter and to destroy nature.
That's like when you're in physics and you go to Dreamworld saying, oh, this is a physics excursion.
Science. What is it all about?
The whole of human history all falls in the dust of one stroke of the nail file. You can't really get to grips with evolution unless you realise what an enormous amount of time.
Our own planet is only a tiny part of the vast cosmic tapestry, a starry fabric of worlds yet untold.
You know what? You tune into what can only be described as the best radio station on this blue dot we call Earth. It is, of course, 4ZZZ, your community radio broadcaster, be it on your conventional wireless radio by tuning into the classic frequency of 102.1 FM, digital devices such as DAB or smart speakers, listening via the community radio, plus while you're at the gym, hey Gabe app, and streaming us live from our sensational website at 4ZZZ.org.au. Get onto it, and of course you can always listen back to this show or any 4ZZZ show using the ingenious on-demand feature also found at that URL. We also have now weekly highlights of the World Cup. No, the podcast of the show for your listening pleasure, curated by Toby. Imagine if Toby did that for us. That would be fantastic.
World Cup highlights show.
Yeah, there you go. Spin
The
off.
world needs more of those.
Yeah.
Bunch of white guys just
Well,
talking
no one's
about
doing it.
their opinions of the World Cup.
Yeah,
Why has no one thought of that before? You're right, Peter.
It's crazy. We should give them microphones.
Ooh, another white boy with a podcast.
Did Ghana field their basketball team today? Like, what the hell was going on with that? Hey, they just switch over to the soccer? What were we playing today, guys? Anyway,
I don't think we can complain about a team's height.
Toby does a condensed version of the show without the music, which my mum prefers. Just search for our show name, which is, of course, we got there. No idea. Spelt with a K, your weekly dose of science. And joining me for this episode to speak about all things science and football, may I please introduce two of my favourite science communicators. Howdy, Peter.
Ahoy, Max.
Salutary greetings, Gabe.
Oh, very good. Let me take you back, Max.
Yes.
It's the year 2000. We've just survived Y2K. And some geologists have just climbed up Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania.
How high did they climb?
In Africa. Well, they climbed 5,800 metres up, Max. So more
It
than
would have taken them a long time. Geologists love rocks.
More than double the height of Mount Kosciuszko. And I'm sure there were plenty of stops to lick the rocks on the way.
Yeah.
And they were taking
See how shiny they are. Yeah.
They take cause of the rapidly shrinking ice fields, which are up at the top of the mountain. Tropical glaciers that's so high up that even along the equator, near the equator, they've got glaciers, which are now almost completely gone. But in the early 2000s, there was still enough left. Got rid of those, pumped some greenhouse gas up there and cooked the planet.
That's it. Yeah.
There was enough up there for them to pull out some big ice cores. They found in these cores evidence that the glaciers began to form 11,700 years ago, and also saw through the history of these ice cores major droughts 8,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, and 4,000 years ago, some of them lasting hundreds of years, that document these major droughts that drove the aridification of Africa over that period.
So later than Australia then?
Yeah, we had that too.
Aridification.
There were it's
bit like everything.
Aridification of Australia started like 350, 400,000 years ago, but then 12,000 years ago was the start of the next period. So it all sort of lines up similarly. They had a massive 215 meters of frozen ice cores they took out of the multiple cores they took out, all lined up together, 215 meters of it to get that information. And in the spirit of the World Cup, Max, for any Americans listening, do you have any idea what 215 meters is in those American feet?
Not yards, but feet. I think it would start with a 7. It would have a 0 as a middle numeral. And then another.
And then a 5.
Plus or minus 1,
705 feet. And it just so happens, Max, that it is our 705th show.
Nice.
705. Peter was holding up a 3. She was very confident about 703.
She's counting backwards. Yeah.
Coming up, I'm going to get into some of the details of that a spider the Z-Line has told us about that's just been discovered in Queensland, our newest spider. It's so new they haven't even actually finished describing it yet, just have a species name.
Yeah. They've got a chance to do something fun here.
Yeah. And I've also got some stuff on the bird flu. I'm going to get into HY bird flu, what's going on there and what to expect.
Yeah.
What do you got, Max?
I'm talking about viruses and getting the one jab that fixes it all.
The one jab to rule them all?
I'm actually going to start off a bit light. You two seem like you're going quite dark, so I'm starting off with laughter, looking at where laughter came from and some really fun things about our brain and laughter, and then a vast necropolis, and we will get into that a bit later.
Before the show, I asked Claude, which is AI, is there any chance that my two favourite teams will end up in the final, playing off against each other? Nah, and it replied.
And it said, Max, there is 0.3% chance that the Australians make the final, whatever that paper found last week.
0.3, yeah. And it said, no, Australia and France cannot meet in the final. FIFA established 2 separate pathways to the semi-finals to ensure that top-ranked teams cannot meet until then. So France is ranked 3rd and England ranked 4th, were drawn in groups on opposite sides of the bracket. But Australia is in Group D, which is on the same side as France in Group I. That means if both teams keep winning, they would meet before the final, at the quarterfinal or semi-final stage at the latest. Unfortunately, not in the final itself. But for this hydration break and in the lead up to Friday's match against Paraguay, I've got a trilogy of songs representing what Australia might be thinking. Here we go. I was meant to start this while I was doing it. Let's cut it a bit. Let's do it. We're going to hear from Magic Dirt.
Professional.
Your predictions in the past, Max, how accurate have those been?
Not so good. No.
so that's right, everyone. Take this.
Maybe I shouldn't play this now. You tune into 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea with me, Max. We've got Gabe, we've got Peter, and we've got part 1 of this. Beautiful, Peter.
All right, my friends, what makes you laugh?
What makes me laugh? Myself. No.
Yeah, no, that's true.
What makes me laugh, Max?
England drawing with Ghana.
That made me laugh. Yeah, that's true. That was really good.
Sorry.
That was funny. No, that was funny. My answer was that this show makes me laugh quite often. Sometimes it's funny. I'll listen back to the podcast and then I'll just be laughing at my own jokes. I'm like, is this narcissistic? I don't know. I think it's kind of, I think we're funny. But I want to prepare you because you're about to get really self-aware about laughing and it's going to get odd. So we're going to all feel really weird about the way we're laughing in this segment and we're just all going to be in it together, okay? Everyone's agreed? Cool. Wonderful. So laughing is a super common non-verbal vocalization. That is what the scientists wrote. I thought it was funny because I was like, well, like, yeah, understatement. Yes, laughter is a thing. But then I was like, oh, I actually don't know that much about laughter. Like I have always thought about it. Like it's sort of a weird thing we do. Why do we do it? Why are we laughing? What is this weird thing that we do? Apparently it's a universal social signal. There's some ideas that it can in some circumstances help with pain management. So that idea of like when you hurt yourself and you're laughing on the ground, you're like, ha, it's fine, guys. Like that may actually help you not feel less pain, which is a cool thing. It can also have a dark side, which if anyone knows about the Joker, this will not be foreign to you because that whole character was based on this single syndrome called pathological laughing and crying syndrome, which is where a person cannot stop themselves from laughing and it happens in like when they don't feel like it. But it's not just that. There's lots of other things. So there's a thing called a gelastic seizure, which is a rare but event for epileptics where they have inappropriate or often mirthless laughter that they can't control as if it's a seizure, but it comes out as a verbalization. Cataplexy is one of them. So cataplexy is where you lose control of your muscles. So it's not like narcolepsy where you actually fall asleep. It's just your muscles, you lose control of your muscles, usually go quite limp and fall over. But a lot of people with cataplexy will laugh before or as that is happening to them, which is uncontrollable. But then there's also conditions that though they're not characterized by laughter trigger pathological laughter, which is when it's, to do with something else. And that can be mood disorders, Alzheimer's disease, schizophrenia, and Angelman syndrome. So there's a lot of different medical things that have laughter as a side effect or a categorization of the disease, which is weird when you think about it, because then it means that there's something in your brain, especially with the epileptic, the gelastic seizures, is a big arrow telling us that there's something in our brain that can misfire and make us laugh without us having any sort of conscious thought about it. There's an interesting thing about laughter is that I learned from here that I didn't know, is that there's actually 2 different types of laughter. And there's very, very clear differences, and people can tell even just from the sound. So if you listen to it, you'll be able to see which type it is, apparently just by gut instinct. And to the point where there's a different physicality in the mouth. They've done MRI scans of people laughing, and they've been able to see different shapes of their tongue and how they move their mouth for these 2 different types. So number 1 is volitional. Now this is said to be the most common, actually. It's sort of after a sentence, it's controllable, we start and stop it very quickly. And one fun thing about the volitional laughter is that it's identifiable. So people can recognize your laugh. It has things that are identifiable to you. Now, the other one is spontaneous.
Can you give us an example of the first one?
I wish I'd done this before. It's very hard to do on command, because anything I do on command is going to be volitional, because that's the idea, is that that's controllable.
I thought Gabe would have something in the can ready to go.
Gabe, give us a volitional laugh. Yeah, that's not quite right. That's just a joke. That is volitional laughter.
Yeah.
See? Short,
Yeah, okay.
start, stop. It doesn't mean that it's not humorous, but it's you doing a social sort of cue. And then there's spontaneous. Now, this is a little different. It's involuntary, and you can't really stop it. One of the researchers described it as, quote, helpless with mirth. It's more contagious, it's more mood boosting. People think it sounds more authentic, although researchers state that that doesn't necessarily mean that's true. Both can be authentic. And it's known to be brought on by volitional laughter. So if people sort of go, ha 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 ha, like in a social setting,
and then you'll
find yourself actually laughing, which is sort of like if you've seen laugh yoga, they do that. And this is why comedy clubs bring on openers, because you might start laughing almost politely, and then eventually it'll prime you to be actually laughing at something. So that's what we know about laughter. What we don't know about laughter is actually quite a lot. We don't know the brain regions that underlie it, and that's because of a load of things. There's a different how you identify it, how you define it, how you do it. But also one big thing is apparently it's really hard to make people laugh in the lab. Probes is just not that funny.
Is it because it's hard in the lab, or is it because the lab is full of scientists who maybe aren't the best at getting people to laugh?
Right. The comedic value is not there, is it really? Yeah, true.
I do think there's a remit for getting a comedian in and just seeing if that helps.
The Venn diagram between our beautiful science people who we'd count ourselves among and the stand-ups is a very thin sliver of overlap.
Right. They're 2 circles.
Yeah.
And then basically 2 circles.
Yeah, look, we don't count ourselves as a part of that wonderful community. They're rarely touching.
Except that tickle lab lady. She's cracked it, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's got it.
One who straps people down and tickles them with feathers.
Yeah, well, she's a bit of a lunatic.
That's
Love
right.
her.
Yeah.
So this was done primarily by the National Research Council of Italy, which does not have a QS ranking, but I thought was interesting that the National Research Council was like, this is of prime importance, we must find out.
Yeah.
So what they did is they looked at reports from medical procedures where the brain is electronically stimulated. So you may have heard of these before. It's quite a common thing, actually. It's a procedure that they do a lot in epilepsy patients if they're going in for a surgery, which is usually to remove the bit of the brain that is misfiring and causing seizures. One of the things they do before that is they do this electrical stimulation throughout the brain while the patient's awake, so that then they can see which parts of the brain are misfiring before they take it out, so it makes it more accurate. But one of the things that happens is that those probes often unintentionally evoke laughter, and the patients, because they're awake, are able to describe their feelings in real time. So they looked at those plus some other studies, and they found 2 separate parts of the brain for the 2 different types of laughter. This was huge. So they found that the voluntary network, so there's 2 different networks, 2 different areas of the brain. Voluntary network comprises areas that are involved purely in motor control of laughing and smiling. And that sort of, when they stimulated it with the electrode, it would make laughter without positive emotions. So the patient would just be ha 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 and have nothing in their head. Whereas the spontaneous network consists of brain regions involved in motor control and emotional regulation. And it includes this one area called the pregenual anterior cingulate cortex, plus some other very long names, but that's the one we're going to focus on. So they're PACC for short. And stimulating those regions made laughter that was enhanced mood, euphoria, mirth. So they actually felt happy while laughing. So you can tell that it's a bit of a different thing. One of the interesting things here, and the reason I bring up the PACC, is because it's actually a key part of the brain's pain dampening system. So remember at the start where I said that they knew that it's something? They think that might be why spontaneous laughter may help reduce your pain. Now, so from looking at the parts of the brain, we actually get another thing that we can do here, which is look at what evolved first. Because as generally with the brain, we go the things right in the middle down the bottom evolved first. That's why we call it a lizard brain. Then there's the middle, and then there's the top, which was like the last bit to evolve. And so we know that spontaneous laughter evolved first. So that laughter that you can't control, that happens just spontaneously, and it's really funny. That, they think, arose in rough and tumble play from like when... Like if you think about mammals like rolling around and biting, actually lots of mammal species make laughter-like sounds while socializing in this way. So it's not just us. Lots of animals do it. And they think that it's a way of being like, look, I'm not being aggressive. We're just having fun. Ha, 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 ha. And so that's what evolved first. Then the voluntary laughter network, which overlaps the brain areas that produce speech. That's critical. It's a speech area. Evolved, and they think what happened was it was us mimicking the natural laugh to purposefully and manipulatively use it as a tool to make people think, to bond and socialize. And obviously it doesn't have to be like negative manipulation, it's just how we work and trying to form social bonds. But that's what happened afterwards. We used our speech brain to be like, I can make this sound and do that. And then people have learnt to tell them apart because maybe there's some sort of benefit in us being able to say when someone is doing it in control or not. But yeah, that's a whole bunch of stuff that we've... Exactly. We've just learnt about laughter, and I hope we will learn much, much more.
Last week, this happened. Coveted Golden Boot is a toss-up between Norway's Erling Haaland and Spain's Mike Oyarzabal. Is that...
You want to try that one again?
No. Yeah, I reckon. Mikhail Oyarzabal. As a ball. There you go.
You got close.
Redemption, sort of. Not really. Okay, it's part 2 of this. Enjoy. Gabrielle.
If you go up into northern Queensland's rainforest, you might see some little orangey brown ants covering trees. They're about 5 to 7 millimeters long. They've got a green abdomen. The little butt bit of the ant is green. They're very common up there. They're called green tree ants. Their larvae will weave these nests in the leaves of a tree. Up to 5 million of the ants will then live out of that nest in the tree. And they taste pretty good too. I had some on some ice cream. Quite good.
Quite
little
citrusy.
Citrusy pop with them as you pop the butt.
The original bubble tea.
The original bubble tea. Nature's bubble tea. And I'm not the only one who thinks they taste pretty good, because under the leaves that the green tree ants run over and feed on lives a new type of spider that's just been discovered and is completely brand new to science. So new to science that it doesn't have a scientific name yet. We know what genus it's in, but we don't know. It hasn't been described. But they've told us about what it does, and it's pretty incredible. Because it's pretty dangerous to be a spider feeding on ants, or just be near ants, specifically green ants, because green tree ants, because they can eat it themselves. They're not that much bigger. These ants can bite. They can spit acid, or spray acid rather, and they can swarm them with hundreds of them, and they'll trigger a frenzy if they find something.
One spider versus 100 ants. Who would win?
Ants win.
Ants.
Ants win. So these spiders have created a trap that allows them to safely and rapidly extract an ant into its nearby web, sort of 30 to 50 centimeters away. And this is why it's called the Ballista spider, because it makes a ballistic trap. So the Ballista or the Ballista is kind of like a giant javelin or heavy ball launcher developed by the Romans. It looks kind of like a giant crossbow, but it works by twisting cords up to generate elastic energy, which then get released to throw the object far distances. And so that is basically what these spiders are doing in a slightly different way, but they're using this sort of idea to catch ants.
Harnessing Roman technology.
Harnessing. Well, the Romans harnessed the spider technology without knowing it, I'm sure. If they trademarked it, they would have made a packet off the Romans. But a lot of salt anyway. So this is all thanks to new research at the Macquarie University and the University of Greifswald in Germany. Macquarie Uni, since you got QS rankings for those two.
Macquarie. I was looking at these last night.
Have done.
This is 2027 we're talking about, aren't we?
Yes. We have brand new QS rankings out last Thursday, so their new ranking. It's 12 higher than it used to be.
66?
122.
126.
Okay.
126. They've gone up.
Peter.
They've gone up by 12.
Yeah.
It's their highest ever ranking. And Greifswald in Germany is in the bracket of 1,001 to 1,200.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
They don't like the Romans
and
anyway.
it was, It's true. It's just a correspondence published in Current Biology. It's not a full-blown paper because it's explaining a new species. So they went out for 10 days into near Cooktown, into the rainforest there, capturing the behavior and on high-speed cameras. They were capturing it like 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 frames per second to capture this. That's
Big camera.
That's how fast this needs to go. Yeah. So all day they saw these spiders hiding under the leaves. So the ants are actively foraging above them. And if they find them, they're pretty much dead meat. Sure. At night, they leave those leaves and descend down about 50 centimeters or so.
Samurai style. Yeah.
That's it. And they descend down and they lay an anchor point on the leaf that ants they know will run over. And then they go back up and attach a tension line between that anchor point to their nest. Yes. So that's the first bit. They've got a tension line. Yeah. But that is just the beginning. They repeat that 15 to 60 times. Yeah. And here's the key bit. Yeah. As they get to at the bottom, they spread them out. So the anchor point is kind of multiple points in a circle. And those lines then come up and join and become sort of one solid line for a bit. And then they spread back out again a lot and connect up into the web above. So you've got at the base this little cone shape, like almost like a teepee stick, the sticks of a teepee with lots of lines. And then it connects up and then it becomes a solid line and then it spreads back out a lot up into their web. Around that cone, the scaffold of a cone they've created, they then, which is all transparent, so it's very hard to see, they then wrap an even thinner type of silk all the way around that teepee structure at the bottom, around and around and around and around and around, all the way up. It's only about a centimeter tall, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. And so they then have a visible cone sitting on the leaf, and then very hard to see thick line running up, which then spreads out into the web above, about 50 centimeters or so above. And then to top it all off, they think the spiders right at the end spread some sort of pheromone onto the cone.
To attract them.
Pheromone, or whatever it is the spiders are doing, seem to piss these green tree ants royally off.
Okay.
Because within seconds, every time, they only saw, I think, like 20 or so occurrences, but within seconds, within a minute each time, the spider would leave and a green ant, a worker green tree ant, would run over and get all aggressive, lunge at the cone, biting it, which it then gets stuck to with its pincers, and then they struggle until it detaches, and boom, off they go up into the web. About 30 centimeters up into the waiting web. So the spider gets one of these ants. Yeah. None of the other ants know anything about what's going on.
It's just disappeared.
It's disappeared. It's off the map. And the spider can safely consume the ant. When the ant is traveling up to the spider's nest, it can accelerate, get this, over 1,300 meters per second squared.
Yeah, okay.
Meters per second.
It's like a roller coaster. You at least have fun before you die.
So that is 140 times the accelerational force of gravity.
Yeah. Amazing.
Good lord.
And they're reaching up to 15 kilometers an hour, obviously traveling a very short distance.
Yes.
But without the ant, they recorded it firing sometimes without the ant attached. Or one time I think they found it. And it went, the acceleration was 4,700 meters per second, and nearly 50 kilometers per hour top speed. So that, like, with the ants are really sticky themselves, so that they have to yank them off. Get rid of the suction as they pull them up. So they've got all this massive amount of force that's built in there to pull them up. So they had to use those cameras at 5,000 to 7,000 frames per second. And they get all of that force just by storing elastic energy in the silk released when the cone detaches from the leaf, just like those ancient ballista weapons. And then so they were so impressed that they brought in those Germans.
You would. You'd bring up the Germans.
Dr. Jonas Wolf studies biochemical properties of spider silk. He traveled here to observe it for a detailed analysis, including getting it into electron microscopy. And so he said that it's bioengineered to store elastic energy in the silk and rapidly release it, giving it incredible instantaneous power density greater than any other specialized silk-based biological catapults. So it is the most powerful biological catapult using silk of any spider anywhere in the world. It's been
Which
observed.
implies that there's a couple of others, which is also impressive.
But this is the ultimate specialization, they say, which seems to have evolved as a way of getting them to extract this potentially hazardous prey one at a time at a safe distance. It seems to be because it's so dangerous for them, they've had to evolve an even more specialized way. And they only seem to feed on these ants because they released 3 other species of ants that live in the same trees, and none of them went for the trap. So they don't seem to be triggered by it. That's why they think there's a pheromone that they're specifically targeting the green tree ants. And it's all happening over and over again every night in rainforests up in North Queensland.
I'm so excited to see this in the next Spider-Man movie.
Pretty cool. That's what I got for you, Max.
Cool. We got a text in from Terry. He says, is the music the hydration break, or are you guys talking the hydration break? ? Please elaborate, Terry. Well, the music is a hydration break, but I'm seeing Peter.
Please don't drink while we're talking. It's actually considered very rude.
You know, you're living in a bit of a golden age, Gabe, when it comes to the World Cup. You know how many times Australia has appeared in the World Cup?
Once before 06, and then 06, 10, 14, 18, 26.
And this is our 7th time. So last century, we appeared once in 1974. And then, as you said, from 2006 onwards, which is basically when you've been alive and watching the sport. Yep. So I had to wait a fair while to see.
And he's not bitter about it at all.
Anyway, this song goes out to the Australians when we finally have to say goodbye to the World Cup.
I can't talk about the songs. He's cut me off. Because if I talk about it now, then it doesn't work with the podcast because they have to cut this bit out about
Max!
Don't you think I know that?
Right of reply.
You're making more work for the poor fella.
We'll let Toby sort it out.
What a legend, Toby. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sure. You're tuning to 4ZZZ and the show is No Idea with me, Max. We've got Issy.
Hello.
We've got Gabe. And we've got our friendly neighbourhood marine scientist, Peta.
Do you know what tuna is?
Fish.
It's fish!
Thank God someone's working on this. I don't know what I'd do without it.
Fish are friends, not food.
Great start. Gabe, what does a cat say?
Yeah.
Max, what does a chicken say?
Cluck, cluck.
And Issy, what does a shark say? I've said it once, I'll say it again. Marine scientists are not creative in our naming. Never have been. We see something, we name it what it is. And today's example is whale fall. Okay, well, what? Fish?
Fish! Yeah, go on, explain that one, Max. Explain that one. Fish?
Sorry.
I'm still waiting for the... Okay, we're going to move on with that. How? He's got nothing. Great, okay. Yeah. Whale fall is what we're talking about today. Can anyone tell me what you think whale fall is from the name?
Yeah, it's what the sharks eat down the bottom when they fall off when they die.
Damn straight.
When they go off the cliff, the whales, they swim too deep and they fall down.
And they figured they'd do it with
we'll get into that later.
With cattle too, didn't they? They tried that out.
Cows down to study it.
Yeah. Yes, we have done cow fall before. So whale fall... We'll get into why we do cow fall a little bit. Whale fall is literally whales falling, once they're dead though, mainly. So whale dies, this is what happens. Whale dies. Whale gets gassy, stays at surface where sharks and seabirds feed. Then whale stops being gassy and whale falls. It sinks to the ocean floor at multiple kilometers, so it's a very long journey actually, and it's mostly between 10 meters and 4,000 meters, so it can get quite deep. Those are most of the ones that we've seen. And then there's large scavengers like hagfish, sleeper sharks eat the soft tissue over months. It stays down there. Then there's an enrichment phase, which is when organisms colonize the bones of the whale. And you might remember we talked about one of those organisms, the zombie worm, a little while ago, bone eater. And that period lasts months or years. And then there's a sulfilic phase, which is when the bones and any remaining tissue decompose, and the sulfur-liking bacteria and some more invertebrates will eat that. And then they'll eat some other invertebrates will eat the bacterial mats that eat that. So there's a whole ecosystem formed by these whale fall.
Yeah.
And it can happen. This whale fall can feed the deep ocean for decades and decades. Single whale. And then, once all the organic benefits become exhausted, the bone can become a reef. So like a physical structure for filter feeders to latch onto and filter things out of the water, because physical structure down there is hard to come by. So
and
that's
kind of like
itself.
the spiders, it's not like a gimmick that happens every now and then. It's like species' entire existence is based off
going and getting whale fall. Yeah, which is incredible given how rare they are. Like we don't see them very often. To research them, scientists have literally, because they are so rare and it's so hard to come across them, scientists take the corpses of beached whales and drop them in specific locations. That's the main way we research whale fall and know what's going on. The not so main way is that we drop cows, apparently, down in the same things.
When you can't find a whale,
the
next best thing.
Cow. They're actually decently evolutionarily close, so it's not a terrible idea. It's just weird to drop a cow, and you got to imagine that the zombie worms are sitting there being like,
tastes pretty good.
They might like burgers, who knows. So this was done, actually, this news research, a huge finding has come to us from the Chinese Academy of Sciences, who have partnered with Earth Sciences New Zealand and the Università di Pisa, Italy, which is the only one with the QS ranking. Let's go.
University of Pisa in Italy.
333.
Yeah, that's exactly about where I was thinking, Max.
I'm going 250.
It's 341.
Oh, wow.
Congrats.
Good job, boys.
We're locked in on the 27 QS rankings so far. So they went on a boat, and they went out exploring, and they explored the Diamantina fracture zone. Now, Issy, where is the Diamantina fracture zone?
Oh, God. We're talking in the water.
Earth.
Oh, on Earth.
Correct, it's in the water.
In the water. I have no idea.
It's on Earth, it's in the water, you're getting closer. Only 70% of the planet left to drill down into.
It's the ocean, right?
Yes. It is in the ocean. It's actually in the Indian Ocean. It's just off of Perth. If you drew a line straight out from Perth on the latitude line, you would eventually hit it. It's about 1,500 kilometres away from Perth.
That's pretty cool.
So close to Perth, but it's off from Perth. Australia is the closest landmass to this, the big trench. And it's a huge trench system where you have a lot of hadal zone. Now, this is hadal zone in the ocean is the waters between 6,000 meters and 11,000 meters, so 6 to 11 kilometers. It is the deepest, darkest, most unexplored part of the ocean.
Oh, hadal is in Hades.
Yes, it is named after Hades. The people were literally like, yeah, it looks like hell down there. And that's what it got its name from. And so they went out and they wanted to see the biodiversity, ecosystem, pollution, geological processes in these hadal parts of the ocean, because it is very hard to do. And they did this. And this is the thing I think might be the coolest part of all of this. In a human-piloted sub, a single dude went down to 11,000 meters.
No.
Yeah, to go and explore this. And they did 33 dives.
Goodness me.
Now that, to me, is personally almost more, to me, more impressive than piloting a plane is to pilot one of these single person subs going that far down under that much pressure.
Kilometers of water above you.
Just trusting. Well, at that point, if it does break, you're just dead. That's the benefit, is that you're not going to experience it. You'll just be dead. There's no long death. You'll be fine. But what they found, it was worth the scary trips, because they found what they call a vast necropolis. Now, Max, do you know what a necropolis is?
I don't know, a gathering of bones? I don't know what a necropolis is.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a giant graveyard. A necropolis is on land, it would be a big sort of tomb network. But here, obviously, we're talking in nature. So it is a massive whale graveyard, and it stretches 1,200 kilometers along the sea floor, so a very, very long distance, and at depths between 4,200 and 7,000 meters, so very, very deep. And in that stretch, they found 476 whale fossils. Only in 33 dives, by the way, which is very impressive to be able to find that many in 33 dives. I think a lot of other fossil finders, paleontologists, are going to be very jealous that they can find so many so quickly without having to break open a rock. And they said that one of the guys who was the geologist on the trip, Peng Zhao, said that the first time they saw the whale fossils, they didn't even recognize them as whale remains because they were coated with ferromanganese oxides, which you just imagine like a fuzzy coating over the whole thing. And they're also just like kind of broke. They've been there for a long time. And so there was just bits on the seafloor, and obviously there's not meant to be bits on the seafloor, but it took them a bit to figure out what it was. But they could tell there was something special, so they collected the samples and they found out that they were whale fossils, and then they just kept finding more and more and more whale fossils in the later dives. Now, one fossil was the baleen whale, so this is with us today. We know baleen whales, they're around, but 5 other fossil species were extinct beaked whales, so whales that no longer exist. They have evolved into other beaked whales.
Wow.
And so they're all extinct species, which means that they're pretty old, not recent. They even found a skull fragment from an unknown species, so they've named another one. This is our second new species of the show, everybody. I think that's pretty cool. This is Pterocetus diamantini is the name. They have named theirs. It was a couple of years ago. They've had some time. And it was a beaked whale, from what I've heard. But the oldest fossils died about 5.3 million years ago. So the early Pliocene. That's a long time for a whale fossil.
Yeah.
For something to be kept in the ocean for that long. So it's really, really significant. And they think that this might have happened, that this one zone has so many whale fossils, because they think it might have been a habitat or like a migratory corridor for whale species that kind of like it. Because if you have those deep caverns, you can have certain currents, blah, 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 blah. Maybe they liked it. And so they were there a lot. Now, a lot of those remains probably came from whales that died naturally, floated, then sunk, blah, 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 the norm. But there's a marine scientist from the University of WA, Dr. Kate Sprogus, who's weighed in and saying that she thinks...
Aliens.
Aliens. She thinks aliens. No. She thinks that the high concentration of beaked whale species could be a behavior thing. So this is an interesting point. So beaked whales are known for their deep diving behaviors. So
to hunt.
Yeah, so they go really, really deep. They go kilometers down. And if you haven't seen a beaked whale before, it kind of looks like an elongated dolphin with a bit of a snoot, like a skinny snoot, but they're quite long. Like they are sort of the midpoint of cetaceans. They're not a dolphin. They're not quite the whale that we would recognize. They're a bit in the middle. And those guys dive really, really deep. But deep diving beaked whales, Dr. Song says, exceed when they exceed stuff like 3,000 meters to 3 kilometers, they can reach physiological limits, which does increase the risk of fatal exhaustion or the bends, decompression sickness. Okay. So we've talked before about how cetaceans prevent the bends and to prevent all of these things from pressure. But it doesn't mean they're completely immune. And so these scientists are saying that potentially this was just much, much deeper than they anticipated. Maybe they got caught down there, and maybe that's why there's so many whales in this spot, is it's just a really dangerous place to swim, and they've died there.
Yikes.
Yeah, which is a bit terrifying.
You ever really think about a whale not timing the breath?
Yeah, it
Drowning.
happens. So mostly it happens because we put them in nets and then they can't breathe, which is the more
But
depressing.
not 5 million years ago.
But not 5 million years ago, we weren't doing that. 5 million years ago, that was just them maybe making a mistake. Whales can make mistakes, is I think the
Getting caught in a
learning
weird
here.
current or
Exactly, happens.
clash with whatever they're hunting or
Yeah, it happens. They can just make a mistake. And once you're down there and you don't have that much oxygen, you're already running on very low oxygen. Your brain's not going to be super great at making decisions. So risky behaviors. But the other really cool thing about this expedition, which I haven't gotten into, was they found 5 active whale falls. That is unheard of. To find 5 at once is just unbelievable. So they were just, I'm sure, pinching themselves. Previously, the deepest whale fall ever found was 4,204 meters. The deepest found on this study, 6,788.7 meters.
Smashed it.
Absolutely smashed the record. Way further
That's what we're looking
down.
for. Yeah.
And so the cool thing about that is we already knew that whale fall in different areas attracts different creatures, right? Like, you're not going to have the exact same zombie worms in one area than another. They will differ around the globe. They can't travel that far. And so these carcasses are hosting very distinct communities of diverse species: jellyfish, brittle stars, the zombie worms, chemosynthesis-based bivalves, and many of them are new to science. So again, more new species.
Okay.
This show is filled with new species. And so altogether, this is one of the most impressive deep sea discoveries, in my opinion, in decades. It's just, they've sort of happened upon this just pit, I guess, of science and discoveries and new things. I don't know how often they're going to be getting back there to go check on them and learn more, because deep sea submarines are expensive as hell.
Yeah.
But it's incredible that they found it in the first place. So I'm sure there's lots of work that'll be coming out of
They
this.
do spend an expensive as hell amount of money to get to Hades.
It's true. And don't look back.
Fair enough.
Because the dinosaurs did not go extinct. We know that. Not dinosaurs. Many dinosaurs went extinct, but dinosaurs did not go extinct. We have them all around us. They're called birds.
Yeah.
I just like to really lay down the law there.
As a marine scientist.
As a marine scientist, I'm here to talk
We got
to you about
birds. That's it.
Yeah.
The fish of
And
the
it may
air.
have not been a meteorite.
You tune into 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea with me, Max. We've got Maximillian, we've got Issy, we've got Gabe, and we've got this.
Single press overtake, stay in Snare 7.
If you push me off the track, I think you have to leave a space. All the time you have to leave a space.
Come on.
Get it, kiddo. Get it. Woo!
Yeah, you don't need to tell me that.
Max, we're in this together, mate. Head down. Come on.
Yes! Great job, guys. That was hard work. Oh, that was hard work.
Formula One this weekend, Ferrari will introduce their first ADUO package, which stands for Additional Development and Upgrade Opportunities, that is estimated to deliver 4 to 5 horsepower from the engine or the power unit, and a further 2 to 3 horsepower from the new fuel, with a combined worth of just over a tenth of a second.
And they look pretty. Yeah. They look pretty good in race trim last time out. So this is going to be exciting to see if they can really take it to the Mercedes. Yeah. What is interesting though is at Barcelona, Audi already shipped their ADUO upgrades and just didn't tell anyone. Like, because after Monaco, you generally do replace power unit components. Like, that's no surprise. But it turns out, Audi have got a new spec engine. Not that they could show it off too much with the kill switch issue and all, but they were looking pretty competitive at Barcelona, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do at Austria.
Not to be outdone, Red Bull, because it's their home race this weekend, will be bringing their biggest upgrade so far for the year, and it has been reported that their car is now at minimum weight for the 2026 regulations of 770 kilograms. And McLaren are bringing what Maximillian's calling a fancy rear wing. What's the fancy rear wing?
Well, like how all the teams are doing weird stuff with it. Like Alpine's got their own. The 360 stuff.
Yeah.
They're going to bring their own fancy one, Okay. But unfortunately, they're probably not going to run it in race trim. This is just still in the sort of experimental stages, but they're going to test it out in free practice.
Fair enough. Women in motorsport, what do you got for us, Issy?
Yesterday was International Women in Engineering Day, celebrating the creativity, insight, and courage that women engineers bring to complex challenges. In F1, it's been about 18 months since Laura Miller was promoted to the position of race engineer for Esteban Ocon at Haas, an appointment that made her the first woman in this high-profile role. Miller's progression to her current role came after she joined Haas back in 2022, when her role involved working on the simulator department before becoming a performance engineer. Since then, the German has settled into her job and experienced highs and lows in the track, as usual with the Haas kind of team. But I think her highest achievement was definitely seeing her receive the honour of a corner named after her at the Australian Grand Prix earlier this year, which was fantastic to see all the promo for, really spotlighting female engineers. So very exciting to see the social media coverage for that day yesterday.
So when you had FIA accreditation, how were you treated as a woman?
As a woman.
in the the media centre. So.
Well, we got access to all of the media events, which included quite a lot of the Women in Motorsport events and female in, I believe it's females in automotive, were also there. So they are a Australian-led initiative that kind of talks a lot about F1, but also just women in motorsport generally, including marshals. So there was quite a lot of love all around.
And just trying to make the path easier for
100%. And recognition where is deserved as well, because it is often thankless. Yes. So I, as we all kind of heard, I also got to speak to one of my favourite marshals, Georgia, who is a woman, and she was also recently at, I believe, the Supercars, or she's done a few V8 events since then. So definitely levelling the playing field within regards to opportunities and barriers and making sure not to exclude anyone. So having a day like this, I hope one day it is not necessary, because we'll all be engineers or engineers. But right now, recognising those roles are really important.
MotoGP happened on the weekend. It was the Czech GP. And Marc Marquez won riding a Ducati, or Agura second on an Aprilia, and Ducati rider Francisco Bagnaia third. Aussie Jack Miller, which we all like to know, how did he finish on his Yamaha? He finished just out of the points in 16th. Gabe, your favourite Sail GP, did you catch it?
I didn't, because I've been World Cup mad, so I pretty much have everything up. But I did see the results.
One sport at a time.
Yeah.
I gotta lock in 4 games a day. It's a lot.
Spoiled.
Anyway, the regatta happened in Canada. Day one saw several fleet races in very light breeze. Not really Team Australia's thing, but they managed to capture wins on both of the races that they competed in 3 races on the Saturday, but the first race was called off due to they didn't finish in time, even though they were about to win. They crossed the line.
They cracked out the paddles and they still couldn't get there.
That's right. Anyway, they won the next 2, and then day 2 saw 4 teams advance into the finals, which was Spain, which is the first time they ever had 4 teams in the final. Spain, Sweden, Great Britain, and Australia. Spain made a great start and went on to win against Sweden. Then Great Britain and Australia was last in the final. Team Australia is still at the top of the championship standings, 18 points ahead of both Spain and GBR, who are both on the same score, 44. NASCAR also happened last week, and I spoke a very big game about Supercar champion Shane Van Gisbergen giving the other Cup competitors a driving lesson around the naval base of Coronado Street Circuit. He qualified in P1, so tick, and he was happy to circulate towards the front during the race, managing his rear tyres. Unfortunately, this was to be his undoing. Driving in 3rd place in one of the rolling restarts, he got caught up in a crash with the front 2 cars, and it was game over. So this now drops Shane out of the chase. That means the top 16 drivers eligible to win the series. SVG now sits in 17th. Unfortunately, this weekend, NASCAR Cup will be raced at Sonoma, which is also a road course and suits SVG's driving style. So, and then we had Formula One driver Kevin Magnussen also racing by invitation at Trackhouse on one of their cars. Car number 91, I think. It's a 91 project. And he was sort of racing at the back of the field and causing a bit of trouble.
It almost came to blows with another driver after the race in true K-Mag fashion. Yes. So good to see that he's pissing off people on both sides of the Atlantic. Okay, call us out the times for this weekend, Gabriel.
Well, there's MotoGP at 10 p.m. on Sunday night, Eastern time for us Aussies.
Yeah.
In the Netherlands, and then the Austrian F1 race is at 11 p.m.
That's
so
it.
Catch an hour at the MotoGP and then flick it over to the F1.
It's a traditional weekend, so there's 3 practices. Qualifying at midnight on Saturday night, and then, as you said, the race at 11 o'clock on Sunday night. So watch the MotoGP and then straight over to watch the F1 race and see if Red Bull can pull it off with their changes, which they're bringing this weekend. Mm-hmm. Who do you think? Have we got any predictions? Issy.
At the Red Bull ring? Surely Verstappen.
Surely Verstappen, but also I'm now going to flip it and we're going to go, how many DNFs are we going to see? I'm placing bets at least 2, and they're both Cadillac. Or
they're bringing upgrades too.
Well, okay, let's go. I'm going 3.
Mm-hmm. Cadillac.
Cadillac, and then
One of the
it'll be
Williams.
something else. It'll be one of the Williams.
Signsy in the Williams. For sure. He'll be out.
I reckon 3, and whoever gets the podium is just whoever doesn't DNF.
And maybe Liam Lawson will turn off someone's car again. But what I'm interested about, though, is the number of penalties that are going to get dished out as well with the pit entry line, because it's a blind final corner.
Yeah.
And then so many I forget, was it last year that we had a ridiculous number of penalties from drivers that had been clipping the pit entry
Yes.
line?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay.
So that'll be one to watch out for.
And can all 11 teams fit in the actual pits? Not I'm thinking Monaco now. Is there room?
The Austrian GP. It's a purpose-built track. It's all good. It's all good.
Let's get back into what are we calling it? I've forgotten. Anyway, thanks for the fish. We spilled the paint. Enjoy.
What song, Max?
In some unseen footage. Did you see those dolphins that greeted them when they landed?
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently some were seen leaving Earth and saying so long and thanks for all the fish.
Oh my God. I was wondering where you were going.
Oh my God.
We just heard from Thanks for the Fish with their song Spill the Paint. You tune into 4ZZZ with me, Max. We got Issy, we got Peta. What do you got for us, Gabe?
Max, this week I was supposed to be talking to you about the new QS university rankings and who's the top dogs, had the Aussie unis go, winners, losers, what's happening in the world of university rankings. And then...
We're all losers now.
Well, not last Sunday, but the Sunday before. There was a vet walking along. Thankfully, it was a vet walking along a remote beach with a friend in Cape Legrand National Park near Esperance, so down at the bottom of Western Australia. And she found a brown skewer on the beach that didn't look too well. It's a relatively big sort of predatory or scavenging bird. If you've seen Happy Feet, there's some birds that harass Mumble when he's a little chick. Those are skewers.
All right.
Very bird-looking bird. And so the vet told the ABC that at the time she didn't know what was wrong, but could see it was not doing well, dehydrated, pretty skinny, and then did something that was fine at the time, but you should not repeat, which was walk the bird to her car and take it to a wildlife carer. And I'd like to hear from this wildlife carer because they seem to have clocked it pretty quickly and sent it for testing at the WA government department for this sort of stuff.
Really on it.
And they confirmed on last Friday that it was confirmed to have bird flu. We didn't know what strain, but that's when you would have started to see headlines because everyone was worried based on where the bird had come from. It had come from subantarctic islands, which are down kind of in the middle of the ocean, of the Atlantic Ocean. What's on the left? Indian Ocean. That's the one.
Ocean.
And the bottom of the Indian Ocean.
One of those.
Off the coast.
How many years of this show and listening to Marine Science? Do I need to refresh you guys on the oceans?
Down below and across from that whale graveyard down near Antarctica. These birds will breed there and then some of them migrate and they'll hit the sort of western coast of Australia and the southern coast of Australia. So they were pretty worried about where it had come from based on the fact it had bird flu. And then they confirmed on Saturday, Cyro tests, researchers confirmed it was H5 bird flu. Which is a strain that is pretty worrying. On Monday, 2 days ago, we got confirmation that a second bird in WA had H5 bird flu around the same area, which was a northern giant petrel, which again is one of these ones that lives down in the Southern Ocean and migrates around. So that's it so far. There's been a lot of other reports made and that have been looked into, but so far those are the only 2 confirmed cases, and there's no confirmed cases in poultry yet. But H5 bird flu, it's making headlines for a reason, so I just want to run through what it might mean from now and what we could be facing over the next few months and potentially years. The official name is H5N1 clade 2.3.4.4b bird flu. H5 bird flu is its common name. It was first discovered in Asia in 1996 in geese in China, I believe. And then we've been immune to it for 30 years since. We have been the last continent not to have it. Every other continent, including Antarctica, has H5 bird flu already and has for at least a few years. And we haven't. We've escaped it. We've had H7 bird flu recently. That's what the egg price surge was about 2 years ago, 2 years ago, where there's the big issue with the egg supply. That was H7 bird flu, caused a lot of issues. This is H5 bird flu. To give you an idea of the potential scale of its impacts, about 10 months ago, it reached Heard Island, which is one of those subantarctic islands that is actually in Australian territory, and was famous because it's one of those places that was on the tariff board that President Trump held up of like, we're taxing all these countries, and Heard and McDonald.
It was penguins. Just a bunch of penguins.
And so it arrived there about 10 months ago. And since then, they don't know how many birds it's killed. They know it has killed birds, including penguins, but they've said about 13,000 of the 18,000 elephant seal pups of this year's season are dead because of it, and more will probably die. They put drones up when they were there, and they're like, more's going to happen, but they estimated 13,000 of them are dead. Like,
just pups on the beach.
Just pups dead from the bird flu, from H5 bird flu. In South America, 24,000 sea lions died in 2023. In the US, more than 200 million chickens have been culled. The only kind of silver lining to the story is its impacts in humans are very rare. It does get into humans, and several hundred humans have died. But if you're not actively handling infected birds, including poultry, you should be fine. So if you're in a risk category for other flus, then just be careful in case. But by and large, it's very rare that it gets into humans, and it's even more rare that I don't know if there actually are any confirmed cases that are human-to-human contact. It's all like infected bird contact. There may have been, they just haven't been confirmed. For poultry farmers, it's nothing but bad news for their animals and businesses, which means going forward, we could see these egg supply, chicken supply, or all other poultry supply issues. Already we're seeing big WA poultry suppliers shut up shop and cut contact with the outside world to try and avoid getting it spread into their animals. And for native wildlife, like those stats show, it could be devastating for birds, but specific species of birds too. It seems to have variable impacts in different species, but also for mammals. It's hitting mammals, and it's hitting seals and sea lions, the pinnipeds.
Australian sea lions are the big worry here.
Yeah.
They're critically endangered.
There's 12,000 of them on the last count. So, if you look at the scale of impacts on the other islands already in South America, that could be pretty bad.
We could just lose them.
Yeah.
We did know it was coming, though. Like I said, we were the last continent to get it, and it's been around for a long time. So there's been millions put into preparing for it. Hopefully that we see the fruits of that labour, and poultry farms are geared up for it. They're already, like I said, cutting themselves off and taking steps. If you're involved in poultry production or wildlife rescue or a vet, I'm going to assume you know more about how you need to manage it than I do. But for everyone else, 4 things to know. First up, if you own birds, chickens or others, don't let it mix with the outside world, and wash hands before and after handling them. If you're cooking with poultry meat and eggs, I don't think there's any confirmed spread from meat and eggs, poultry meat and eggs into humans, but it's still a possibility. So they're recommending just to thoroughly cook poultry meat and eggs while it's spreading. Get vaccinated with this year's flu shot is another recommendation, especially if you're in contact with birds or other animals regularly. There's no vaccine for bird flu. This is not going to help with the bird flu, but it can prevent you from having both of them cooking in your system at the same time that very rare event happened. Best to avoid that. And most importantly, if you see sick or dead birds or any other animal for that matter, particularly wildlife or poultry, avoid touching it. Record your location and report it to the government hotline they've set up. It's 1-800-675-888. And all of that reporting info is on birdflu.gov.au if you want to track it down. So I'll keep us updated.
Don't let your pets touch it is another big one.
Yeah. No, don't touch it. Don't let your pets touch it. Don't let your kids touch it. Don't let anyone touch them. Just report them to the hotline. Cool. And that we'll keep you updated, but that is what we know so far and what we might be in for.
Yeah, if we want to hear a bit more about bird flu, Dave from Eco Radio said that we're going to be talking to Professor Hugh Possingham about bird flu today. So that's at 12 o'clock.
Possingham is one of the biggest conservation researchers in the world, based out of the University of Queensland. So that's fantastic.
He'll know what to say. Listen to him.
Fair enough. Now, the elephant in the room, Issy, last Wednesday night. Tell us.
State of origin.
How was the Issy household when Queensland decided to really show who's boss?
What the hell? Genuinely heartbroken. Because sorry, this is a completely different topic. Please tune into Eco Radio for more bird flu information. But not only did New South Wales get crushed, the Dragons lost, which is an inherited NRL team, but also Socceroos got their ass handed to them as well. So it was a devastating blow in the household. I think I put something on my
couple
story. Scotland also lost. So even my father's side, that was not a happy
did you
Larry.
do?
I don't know what I've done. I don't know which Etsy witch I've pissed off. I don't know what's going on. Izzy stocks have been at an all-time low, so I don't appreciate getting bamboozled with this information because, and now we've got bird flu, so it's not looking very happy.
Okay, let's listen to this year's theme song, Guns N' Roses, with their song Sweet Child of Mine.
Oh my god.
You're tuned to 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea with me, Max got Issy, not talking to me.
No.
We've got Gabe, we've got Peta, and we've got part 3. This comes from University of Cambridge 2027 QS ranking, please.
Oh, we haven't looked.
3.
7.
It's 6, so close.
Good job, Izzy. Thank you.
Anyway, this century coronaviruses have caused 3 major outbreaks: SARS in 2002, MERS in 2012, and COVID-19. Well, we know when that happened. Anyway, with new variants continuing to emerge and bats posing an ongoing spillover risk, scientists are racing to develop vaccines that protect broadly, not just against one strain. Named P-EVAC-PS, it has been designed to be the one vaccine that neutralizes multiple coronaviruses, including ones we have not yet to encounter. The vaccine was built using computational approach, so AI, and it was called Diamantinic. Rather than targeting one specific virus strain, scientists identified common parts of the coronavirus family that do not necessarily, do not easily mutate, and engineered a synthetic antigen to target them. The antigen was delivered as a DNA vaccine, which offers a practical advantage. It is more thermostable than mRNA vaccines and does not require ultra-cold storage, making it better suited for low-resource settings. It was also...
It's kind of cool. Because it's like in vaccines, the idea is that it's like lock and key, right? So you're making the thing, the virus has a key shape, we have a lock shape, and then the vaccines just help us create that lock shape. This is sort of like, you know, when you're a kid and you have the you give a toddler one of those puzzles and it's got a square, a circle, and a triangle. Yeah. And the toddler has to go triangle and triangle, circle and circle, square and square. But every so often, the triangle is smaller than the square, and so it fits in the square. That's not wrong. Yes. That's what these guys are doing. They're making a bunch of square holes to fit triangles, squares, and some small circles.
Gaming the system, as it were.
Yeah.
This is the bit I thought you'd like, Peter. It was also administered without a needle. Using a device called PharmaJet Tropus, which injects the vaccine under the skin via a fine jet of liquid. So there you go.
I feel like that's worse.
Yeah, that's almost worse. Hang on. I just didn't want something under the skin necessarily.
So it's like sebate?
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway.
Wait, that makes me feel like I'm getting power washed in a small area. Though.
Yeah, exactly. They put you in a room, they put it in a jet wash, and they just spray you down with
it. Okay, between December 2021 and September 2023, 39 healthy adults aged 18 to 50 received 2 doses of the vaccine.
Jet washed.
4 weeks apart. There were 4 dose groups: 0.2 milligram, 0.4 milligram, 0.8 milligram, and 1.2 milligram. The vaccine was well tolerated at every dose level with no serious adverse reactions. Vaccine side effects were generally mild, and the second dose was tolerated better than the first. The study saw mixed results. The immune responses, as measured by antibody levels against SARS-CoV-1 and 2, and the vaccine construct itself, were modest overall. The highest dose group showed a statistically significant increase in antibodies targeting the vaccine construct, but the boost above participants' pre-existing immunity was limited. It should be noted that there was one major complicating factor. The trial ran during multiple Omicron waves. So many participants caught COVID-19 during the study.
Oh my God.
And those who did not were still being exposed to circulating variants, making it difficult to isolate the vaccine's specific effect.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah,
that
that's a major setback.
Yeah, however,
they're doing it again?
Yes.
Cool.
They were encouraging science, a technique called peptide microarray analysis showed that the vaccine directed antibodies towards conserved regions of the spike protein, including a site targeted by a well-known broadly neutralizing antibody. This suggests the vaccine's design concept is sound, even if the immune response needs amplification. Given that the study was a proof of concept, results support further development, with researchers noting that optimizing the delivery platform or combining this antigen design with mRNA technology could significantly improve its potential.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Agreed. Sign me up to be power washed, I guess.
Yeah.
No idea. Space news. We're talking ISS here. Researchers from the Texas A&M Agri-Life are sending hundreds of grape seeds to the International Space Station, where the seeds will spend approximately 6 months. The seeds will be exposed to cosmic radiation, which could potentially induce beneficial mutations that make the future grapevines more robust.
Delicious.
I was about to say radiation wine.
Yeah.
Once the seeds return to Earth, researchers from Texas A&M Agri-Life Research will plant and study them. This experiment could ultimately result in what researchers believe to be the first wine ever made from grapes grown from seeds that have travelled into space. Didn't they sent some beer, didn't they, or something?
I feel like, this is not the first rodeo
No,
with
for
alcohol and wine.
yeah.
Why are we
Alcohol in
starting
space.
with alcohol? That's my question. We're like, okay,
Yeah.
so priorities, guys. Beer, wine, maybe we'll get to like potatoes.
What are you going to do on the way to Mars?
sustenance.
Like, you got 6 months to
Exactly.
kill. Like, yeah.
I'd prefer food to alcohol.
Fair enough. I'm going to talk about NASA mobility devices. So in the Colorado desert, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, successfully field tested a prototype called EARNEST. You love these acronyms. EARNEST stands for Exploration Rover for Navigating Extreme Slope Terrain.
Acceptable. Acceptable. All things are in it. They didn't use a weird letter. Acceptable. That is earnest.
It travelled by itself for about 60 miles over 60 miles. I should have converted that. Sorry. So that's about
Yankee Doodle
25k over 37 hours, moving 10 times faster than Perseverance Mars rover. It uses an active suspension system that allows it to independently lift each wheel and autonomously distribute weight across rough terrain, shadows, and in the dark. These mobility and autonomous navigation systems will be integrated into future rovers sent to the Moon and Mars. And for the upcoming Artemis crewed lunar missions, NASA has partnered with 3 commercial companies to build the Lunar Terrain Vehicle, or LTV. Prototypes developed by Intuitive Machines called Moon Racer. I'm thinking Racer must stand for something because it's in caps. Lunar Outpost, and they're calling theirs Eagle or Pegasus. And Venturi Astrolab calling theirs the Flex Rover. NASA completed the initial round of testing at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, where astronauts and engineers evaluated crew compartments, stowage drawers, and solar panel deployment. Unlike the Apollo-era moon buggies, which happen to be the most expensive cars ever made, and they're stuck on the moon, these unpressurized rovers will be solar-powered, so that's cool, radiation-resistant, and capable of traveling up to 15 kilometers per hour to extend surface science at the lunar South Pole when they get going on Artemis 4 or 5. I don't know when they're going to send the vehicles, but that's when the crewed mission's going to put their boots on the ground on the South Pole. That's it for the space news.
Starting from July 1st, 2026, 4ZZZ will transition to a membership model that incorporates a tax-deductible donation into the subscription price. What this means for you, our members, is that every year going forward, most of you will be able to claim a portion of your annual membership back on tax. The donation amount varies depending on the price of the subscription tier and any merchandise that may be included, but as much as 90% of the subscription cost may be tax-deductible. Our members, as 4ZZZ subscribers, have kept us going since 1975. And this new model helps us help you by giving you a little extra back at tax time and by helping us make every dollar go a little bit further. More information will be communicated by email, and information about the subscription tiers, their cost and inclusions can be found at 4zzz.org.au/support.
You tune into 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea with me, Max, Issy, Peta, Gabe. We're all volunteers. Why do we do it?
For the text, mainly. For the attention.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Attention.
Cheeky discount sometimes, yeah.
I'm really trying to memorize the QS rankings. That's important to me.
You know, speaking of pub trivia, I think QS rankings are probably one of the easiest questions. So I think that having a weekly training session and then getting completely obliterated because I have some sort of implicit bias, I think it's really good for the soul. But yeah, we got to thanks to the folks who have been texting in as well. We've gotten Terry, who has been calling appropriately the music breaks, the hydration breaks for our World Cup. Gerard, who said once you pop ant's butt, you can't stop. I'm scared to know the context on that one.
Eating them, they're delicious.
Oh yes, delightful.
And they pop.
And Owen as well, who's texted in saying, can we use the spider technology we discussed in the first half of the show to entrap non-subs into signing up? No ethical considerations apply to non-subscribers. So if you want to avoid getting spider trapped, 4ZZZ.org.au/support. Max, can you read out the
I don't
tiers
think
for
their
me?
internal organs would be able to withstand the amount of...
They did say that humans would not survive if they were pulled up at the G-forces that these little ants are getting pulled up at.
Well, you don't want to find out. So 4ZZZ, give us the tiers.
If you go to the website at 4ZZZ.org.au/support, if you're under 18, $25. If you want to subscribe your pet, it's $25. Concession, $40. A full subscription for the year, $80. Passion, $140. Or Super Sub, you get your name written downstairs, $500 for the year. And we've got a prize.
Do we have a prize?
Yeah, from Sonic.
Yes, like the spider spraying pheromones on their trap, we spray the pheromones of a monthly sub prize. Gabe, what is our pheromone this month?
I don't have
It's
it. You
from
have it,
Sonic
Izzy, right?
Oh, I've got it. It's
the
from Sonic Sherpa, who have sprayed their pheromones across Stone's Corner, giving you a wide collection of Australian records, pre-love vinyls, turntables, CDs, DVDs. We've got a $150 voucher to send across to the successful participant who survives that. So,
Our spider.
and if you prefer to see the spiders in real life, don't worry, come to Barry Parade. We've got folks in reception who will take care of you. And if you prefer your spiders over the net, 4ZZZ.org.au/support.
That's no idea for this week. Sign us out, Gabe.
That is all we have time for. That's website 4ZZZ.org.au is also where you can listen back to the full recording of this show with all the music as well as a bunch of our previous shows. Thank you to everyone who does subscribe to keep us running every week. The condensed version is available on your podcasting platform of choice. Search up No Idea 4ZZZ. That's KNOW Idea 4ZZZ, which is also our handle on socials if you want to watch little clips of us yapping away about science. Thanks to Toby for editing up the pod. Thanks to you, Max, Izzy, and Peter for your stories this week. We'll be back in your ears next week. Between now and then, if you're anywhere in Australia, don't touch sick wildlife. Don't let anyone else touch sick wildlife. Don't let your pets touch sick wildlife. And please report sick wildlife to 1-800-675-888. I had that lady saying, and don't swim in the sea.
And don't swim in the sea. Don't
not make unnecessary journeys.
1-800-675-888 is the government hotline to report potential H5 bird flu. Right now, Eco Radio is coming your way, taking you through for the next hour. They're going to be talking with Professor Hugh Possingham about the bird flu, which is like the best guest you could have to hear about bird flu. So
also fantastic lecturer, so it will be very entertaining as well, I am sure.
So stay tuned in for that.
And we'll speak to you next week.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.
I'm a goddamn marvel of modern science.